So welcome back to Halo. We're here with episode 2, Halo. That's actually what the level is just called, as you can see. And as proof, we're on Heroic. 0 skulls. So here we are. Here's Halo. And, yes. I'm Covok, and this is Lady Mappy.
Hi. I also noticed that we aren't playing Master Chief. We are playing Masler Chef.
You know, so they don't let you make your gamer tag Master Chief, even if you're like one of the first people in the world to own an Xbox 360. But you can fuck up 2 letters, and back in the old days when people didn't have HD TVs, no one noticed.
Are you all right?
Amazing. So you just had a bunch of Master Chiefs running around, and as I thought, the soldier who was like, "I'm not gonna die, am I?" died.
Oh fuck! I left this in. I literally praised myself for cutting that out, and I fucking left it in.
Amazing.
So let's see here. You will. So I'm going to show off this area in new and classic.
Ooh, lens flare. Lens flare.
I don't know why Remastered decided this should be at a different time of day and have more earthly colors. I think the reason it is so sterile and gray is partially graphical limitations, but partially because this is an artificial planet and shouldn't have earthly colors.
It's like, it's Halo. The colors are green and purple. Also, I noticed that the new graphics literally changed the, not just the texture of the cliffs, but also where they are.
So that's a funny thing, and we're going to get into that in level 3. I actually take a moment to just show off a really bullshit thing they do with trees. But you'll see it then. But basically, because that's the first level you get a sniper rifle. And let me just say that there is nothing worse than missing a shot. This happened the first time I bought this remastered edition for the Xbox 360. I own the original for the Xbox, by the way. I played Halo 2 first. But I do own the original. I paid it after playing Halo 2. But when I bought the 2009 remaster, there's something more annoying than missing like 5 shots and then going into classic graphics and finding out that some dipshit, I'm sorry, but some dipshit did not think to match the new graphics to the classic geometry, so you've just been shooting into a fucking wall the whole time?
I mean, yeah, that does sound really frustrating.
I mean,
I was just imagine that happened in real life. You're trying to walk down a street and you just like smashed into a wall, and it turns out that someone, when they were coming with like the new graphics for your town or whatever, forgot there was supposed to be a brick wall there.
I mean, isn't that just a Jenna Moran short story?
If not, it should be. But yeah, oof. I also noticed that you're in a much bigger open space.
Oh, that's a big thing with Halo, is that this is actually really impressive for the original Xbox. That there's just these big combat areas, which really were not possible back in the day.
I will say the new graphics. I don't know. It feels weird.
You mean how they changed Sergeant Johnson's skin color, apparently?
Oh, I was not talking about other things, but no, that is also really weird. But it just feels like for me, Halo looks like the. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of how weird it was to play the Spyro 3, reignited version.
Oh yeah.
Because one time when I was staying over your house, I did kind of just play that game in one sitting. But
yeah, I remember falling asleep on the couch and you were still playing it when I woke up.
Oh yeah, no,
at 6 a.m.
I think I may have taken a nap between before the sorcerer's fight. But anyway, what I was bringing up was just the fact that it kind of felt weird that Spyro was smooth rather than chunky polygons.
Chunky. That's a chunky boy.
And sorry, one of the people I play D&D with has added the word chunky to my
it's fine.
To my vocabulary.
I like it.
But like, yeah, no, because like to me, Halo has that like that little bit of like chunkiness, that little bit of like chunky. Not like exactly you can see the polygons, but oof. Death 1.
Oh, we shouldn't bother counting. It's you'll see.
Kara, did you ever watch my my Tintin series?
No.
That's fair enough. So by like the second, I think it was the second video in that one, I put up a death counter of 1 death. By the end of that series, I think the death counter had gone up to something like 40 or 50. Because the last couple levels of that game are bullshit. But like, don't worry. If we decide this series needs a death counter, I can count deaths.
Oh, thank God! I have
practice.
I was trying to find out how to change frame rate for clips, and I couldn't figure out how to do that. Let alone putting up a goddamn death counter.
Oh yeah, no. When you're doing the actual video editing, at least if you got like a good software, you can like put up what's the best way of putting it? You can put up like an overlay.
Oh, I'm sure you can. I'm just using cheap software I found. It was called Caden Live, and I have no idea.
Oh no, that's what I use.
Oh really?
Yeah. By the way, this is not a paid endorsement.
So we both independently find the same free software?
Yeah, because it's like one of the few good ones.
Okay.
But yeah, no. So like I think it's like I just have more practice with it. Because you need to like edit stuff together, and you use the titles, and it's a thing.
Well, to get off video editing for a second, I actually want to talk a lot about how Halo's guns are balanced. And it's actually going to be what causes the problem in the second half of the game. So, you notice that this gun, right, it fires bullets that are physical projectiles on the map, and they move at a relatively slow pace, especially when fired by the enemies. So that means they're very easy to dodge left and right if need be. That is because these guns are balanced to be in the hands of the opposition. They're balanced for PvE combat. Now, there is some bullshit you can't do with it. For example, the plasma pistol is really good if you just spam the button because it has no limit to its fire rate other than overheating. So as you can see, I can actually very quickly take down enemies by just chomping on it. But what gets kind of bullshit in the second half is you run into a lot of enemies that use the human weapons. And as you saw, I think they do use physical projectiles, but it feels almost like it's a hit scan, especially with the shotgun. Oof. Hit scan is a type of programming technique where instead of...
Oh, no, I think people know what a hit scan is. I think this is...
Oh, fair enough.
It's good to explain things, but I think that's going a step too far.
I'm just saying, the shotgun sometimes feels like a hit scan, especially when the enemies are using it.
Yeah.
So, and let's just say that the enemies later in the game are programmed only to just run right towards you, so it can get a little frustrating. But
so can you remind me of something?
Yeah.
You can use the Needler in this one, right?
Yeah, I actually don't use it a lot, even though the Needler is actually a very good gun.
I remember like the Needler was like one of the few guns I was actually good at when I was playing it with my friend.
The Needler has an interesting gimmick. You probably know it, but the audience might not.
Yeah. You were allowed to say the gimmick. I will not stop you.
Oh, okay. So it's one of the only Covenant weapons that actually use ammo. As you might have noticed, when I picked up this Covenant weapon, I don't have to reload it. It overheats. That's because Covenant use energy batteries that they can only swap out of their ship, which is the lore reason for why we can't swap them out in the middle of combat. So when the Needler is different, it uses crystals that explode when they're inside of a target, and they actually have some tracking. When 10 needles are in a target, they explode like a grenade and insta-kill the enemy.
And that's why I like that one, because it had tracking. I didn't have to be good at aiming.
Now this level also introduces a new enemy. You may have already saw it. It's the ones holding the shields. They're called the Jackals, and I don't remember their alien lore name. But the Jackals are merchants in the Covenant, primarily. They're actually really focused on trade. And they're actually one of the first people to find humanity because of the fact that they were pirates, if I remember correctly. And that's actually related to some of humanity's first contract is a dispute over a forerunner place between jackal pirates and humans. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong. I never read the novel, though I have heard Avery Johnson bones down in that novel, according to David Brian Gilbert. I'm just remembering what my cousin, Vinny, used to tell me a lot as a kid because he loved these novels. He's now an NYPD officer, not a lawyer, because every time I mention that I'm an Italian whose cousin name is Vinny, everyone asks if they're a lawyer because ha ha ha, it's that one movie.
Yeah.
I went on a tangent there.
Yeah, and it was absolutely fine. I was actually going to bring up that I actually read a little bit of the novelization of the first game.
What'd you think of it?
It was alright. It was not the worst thing I had read. I have read things that are way, way worse than video game tie-ins.
You know, fun fact, by the way, you might notice Cortana's our AI, just said that this cave is not natural formation. You might be saying, well, no shit. But in the original design for this level, it's supposed to just be a literal cave with no metal inside of it. And they just never changed the audio.
Yeah. Oh, what was I thinking of? I mean, it's really weird to go, like, you know, like, we have to explain that Cortana's our AI, because, like, nowadays, like, Cortana's the built-in thing for Microsoft products, right?
There's actually this really overdone... That is true. There's actually this... I mean, I have Cortana on my computer. There's actually a mod called SVP3 for Halo PC that allows you to turn Cortana... amongst many things, it allows you to turn Cortana into Cortana.
Nice.
Death 2, I suppose.
Yes.
So I guess my claim that I didn't die in the first few levels was a load of shit.
I was about to say, probably not in those words, but I was about to say. So here's another question. Remind me, can you just run over enemies in the Warthog?
You can, but I will argue that it's pretty hard to do on the PC version. And I think the reason why, and I actually own this version of the game too, this remaster is actually based on the Gearbox software port of Halo to the PC, which I actually owned a physical copy of. And that version has some more glitches. We'll actually see a very big glitch in like level 8, which is going to be kind of funny. But it's glitchier, and I swear to God, they made the Warthog play like I'm swimming or driving a boat. I don't remember it being this like hard to control on the original Xbox.
You're just sloshing around. It's actually kind of fun to watch.
Oh, it's really bad on the Ghost, because the Ghost will always... Oh, they really fucked up the Ghost. I swear this must be the PC re-release. Because the Ghost, which is like a motorcycle, alien motorcycle we get later, it will always go in the direction it is actually facing regardless of the camera, which leads to some really confusing shit later on. You'll see what I mean, like points where I legitimately get disoriented and I have no idea where I'm going.
Fun with vehicles.
Which is something that is not in the later games. They actually lock the camera to always face behind the Ghost. I think for that very reason. Like the second you start moving, at least, I don't think you can do that otherwise. At least when you're boosting. I don't know. It's been a while. I could be misremembering, but I remember these vehicles handling better on the original Xbox and handling better in later titles, and even in later titles on the Master Chief Collection, which is what we're using to play this. So I just think they fucked it up by using the Gearbox software version. And
it's always interesting. Sorry, I thought you were about to be done. I was about to say, it's always kind of weird to me when they do like re-releases of these things, and like a bunch of the later games are in like the same engine, or like the first one wasn't in that engine, but they don't rebuild the first game to be in that engine.
Well, the Master Chief Collection's a real weird... It's an amazing deal now, because I think you get like 6 games for $60, which is not bad. And if you get it during the Steam sale, which is currently going until December 1st, because this is right after Thanksgiving, Hail Hydra. And I don't know why I said that. I just thought, like, what's the stupidest thing I could say instead of Happy Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Just to briefly interrupt, I actually remember this scene from the book. It was like they actually made a big deal out of like, oh, they made the light bridge, and is that actually safe to cross? Will that actually support our weight? Like, because it's a bridge made out of light, and I'm guessing that they just didn't have like hard light holograms as a human thing. But like in the game, you just kind of drive over it, and it's no big deal.
You know, they must have clearly never watched Red Dwarf.
I mean, here's a real question.
Eh?
Do you think Red Dwarf is actually a thing in the Halo universe?
Well, it's technically set on future Earth, which would mean that Halo is a thing in the Halo universe.
Which is where it gets confusing, because like, do you think anyone ever, like, one of the Marines just like goes like, wait a second, this is weirdly familiar. This is weirdly similar to one of those games I played at like my grandpa's house.
I mean, this is also set like 300 years in the future.
Yeah, like maybe the guy's grandpa is like an old video games collector or something.
You know,
playing like retro games like Fortnite.
Oh my god! So, I had like a real millennial moment. This like yesterday, because I went to a place called the Video Game Trading Post in Long Island, and I picked up some PS2 games, and someone said, "Oh, you're into retro games, huh?" And I almost fucking cried.
Yeah, no, we're starting to get to the age where like the things that we enjoyed as teenagers are older than some adults.
I was just like, no, I just never played Devil May Cry 2 or the Prince of Persia trilogy or Resident Evil Code Veronica, and I wanted to play them.
The first Prince of Persia, fantastic. The second Prince of Persia, you're gonna cut yourself on the edge. And the third Prince of Persia is okay.
I mean, it was only $5. They were trying. The most expensive game I bought was Resident Evil Code Veronica at $14. But if I bought it on the GameCube, it'd be $179 for some reason, and even though that's a 1-for-1 port.
Yeah, like, okay, so randomly, like at like the local game shop, I went in there and like they're selling like Pokemon Emerald for like over $100, and I'm like,
oh, I saw a Twitter post about that.
I wish younger me didn't have a habit of like peeling off the stickers for like Game Boy cartridges, because I just liked the bare cartridge. Because like now I would actually be able to sell things.
I think I actually have somewhere in here in my desk my copy of no, I think I moved it. I actually do have my copy of Pokemon Silver. Are you saying I can get $100 for that?
I think it was like specifically Pokemon Emerald. I've got my copy of Pokemon Ruby somewhere in my basement. But like, it's the battery dried up, or I think I might have actually like dropped it in the water accidentally, and that shorted out the battery. That happened to one of my Pokemon games, maybe Gold. But like, yeah, no. Apparently, if it's in like good condition, it's selling for stupid, like, classic Game Boy games or Game Boy Advance games are selling for stupid amounts of money.
Maybe I should check. I mean, I have a lot of Game Boy. You haven't been to my new apartment yet, but like I have an entire wall of games. I should probably check to see if my copy of the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition is worth anything.
Probably is at this point. Like, it's weird to me that like because like a lot of these things are valuable because they were being marketed to children who, you know, in general just don't have a conception of like, oh man, I have to be like super careful with this because it's going to be like worth a lot of money in like a decade or two.
That might be where I have a leg up, because I was actually always, probably because I'm autistic, I was always very careful about never damaging anything. So all my boxes are in pristine condition unless I bought the thing used, and all the discs have no scratches on them. So they're probably worth a decent amount of money.
The only thing that I was like that for were books. Mm. Like my books were like The thing is, I got most of my books used because there was this sweet used bookstore in Spain, which was one of the few places you could actually buy books in English, at least in Madrid. And like, so I would get books where like the binding was a little bit ratty or whatever, and I would be like, no more damage to this.
You know, I'm just like that with everything. So everything in my house is kept very nice. I put my comic books in little tombs, as I heard what someone put them once. Because you put them in a board, you bag them, and then you put them in a tomb, and you bury them in your closet for future generations to pick up.
And the thing is, you're not even doing that because, like, oh, I need the mint condition. I need the mint condition of this comic book. You're just doing it because it's how you keep the comic book nice.
You just change subjects for a moment. I've driven you around Long Island before. How would you say my driving compares in this game to real life?
Oh man, if you had driven anything like this when I was with you, I would have told you to stop the car and I would have walked.
I'm actually about to buy my car because car prices are through the fucking roof. But since I leased it, I get to buy it at the same price that it was worth. Residual price that it was before the car price thing, so I could literally buy it used and then sell it and make $6,000. Like it's
so you're gonna buy your car. You're gonna come visit me because I remember your one excuse for not coming up and visiting me in upstate New York was that you had a limit on how many miles you could drive on your car.
You know, I also don't like driving on the side of mountains at 3 a.m.
You know, that's just called pick a time to leave. That isn't going to leave you driving on the back roads at 3 a.m. I mean, you can stop up at Woodstock. Woodstock's like halfway between Long Island and where I am.
Is the Roscoe Diner halfway between where you are and Long Island? Because I do like the Roscoe Diner.
I'm not sure.
Just a bunch of local commentary, people, if you've ever been to New York.
Probably not. No, it's not going to be halfway.
Oh, they have some great sausages there, if you've never been to the Roscoe Diner.
Oh, sausage is great.
They told me the brand they use. Oh, sorry?
That's the German in me coming out. Just sausage. Sausage is so good.
Are you really German, though? Are you really German if you've never been to Germany?
I have been to Germany.
Oh, never mind.
Many times.
Then you are. I retract my statement. I think I'm about to die because I forget fall damage exists in this game. Yeah, there we go.
Ah, yes. He is the Master Chief, the master of dying. In easily preventable ways.
That's just the American in me, dying of easily preventable causes.
Exactly.
So that was dark.
Yes. But to go on to a lighter topic, I'm wondering, like, in character, does Master Chief just have this feeling of invincibility? Where he's like, I'm John 117, Spartan. I'm invincible. I'm gonna jump off this. Ow, my legs!
I don't know. I mean, his suit is constantly jacking him off, so who knows?
Wasn't that like one of the very specific things that I'm bad with names, but
I think it's David Brian Gilbert or David Gilbert. He has 2 first names for some reason.
Where he was very, very angry about, like, no, the suit doesn't do that.
The suit does not jack him off. It doesn't jack him off. Well, you know, I know you don't like VTubers, but Neanners is very adamant that the suit does jack him off. And you know, I was in a game of Double Cross with her once, so I trust her.
Fair enough.
Or someone impersonating her, because who the fuck knows?
I mean, to be fair, the internet is just people impersonating other people.
We're not even really who we say we are. We killed them a long time ago. We're not actually Covok and Lady Mappy. We killed them and replaced them.
I drank their skin.
We're actually lizard people from the Earth's core.
Yes, because that is definitely a real thing.
So, this is actually a very unique level, to get back to the actual game instead of us just shitposting for 20 minutes. Even though I think that's pretty much what people expect from my videos, at least. This is a unique level.
No, I also shitpost. But I'm not just doing silly voices. Anyway.
Well, it's funny because I literally said Halo is really linear, and I forgot this is actually the most unlinear level of the fucking game, where you're actually allowed to do things in whatever order you see fit. You can do these 3 outposts however you like. So yeah, this is actually the most non-linear level, and it's right after I told. So don't trust anything I say, because
I mean, this is just the level they use to lie to you and say, "Oh yeah, this game's non-linear." Well, I guess this was before, like, it became really, really popular, like, for open world games. When was that?
Oh my god, open world games becoming like a super serious thing.
Yeah.
Let me see. Was it before or after Assassin's Creed, where that became like a big selling point?
I think Assassin's Creed was like the start of it.
Creed.
But then again, I never played Ass Creed, so
play the first one and the second one, and then maybe the third one. I liked it, everyone else hated it, and then just stop.
So, but like, was the first one how open worldy was the first one?
Decently open world. There were open world games before that. You had Destroy All Humans, which had level based open world, but like we're talking about when it became like the de facto. I mean, I think a lot. You know what did it? I just realized Grand Theft Auto 3.
That would probably be it. Yeah, it was the Grand Theft Auto series, or at least the later entries when it actually became open world. Also, I just want to stop our tangent for a second and just say I really like the effect, the like halo reaching off in the distance.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what that thing is doing. By the way, where these things just keep shooting out this energy for no reason.
Huh. But like, oh man, I just did I see that correctly? Does it not? Can you not see the halo when you're in the new graphics?
Oh, I think there's more things obscuring it. I think it.
Because like that's lame. I think like to get the proper ring world feeling, you need to be able to see the ring basically anywhere you are.
This is an annoying thing about this level. Because it's open world, you can lose the enemies. So this is what happened, is these enemies followed me downstairs, and I didn't realize it, so I'm like trying to find them. Because until I kill all of them, I can't go forward.
Come on, I want to finish the level.
Roger that. Marines, assemble for evac. Pronto.
Just get here so I can shoot you, or whatever.
Charge.
Also, that guy's face...
He looks a little bit
different.
like Michael Biehn.
Yeah, a little bit.
Michael Bihn's the guy from Alien, actually. Isn't Michael Biehn the one who played Hicks?
I am terrible at names and actors, but that sounds plausible, so I will say yes.
Well, it definitely wasn't Mr. Bean who played it. Rowan Atkinson going to kill aliens.
That would have been a very, very strange movie.
Just he's reprising his role from The Curse of Fatal Death.
Yes.
That's an obscure Doctor Who reference for everyone here who's under the age of 75.
Now, I think some 70-year-olds would recognize that one.
The 13th Doctor would be a woman.
Predict? Or is the fact that the 13th Doctor is a woman a reference? Is the real world just a reference to The Curse of Fatal Death?
I mean, it guessed more things about Doctor Who than it probably should have. Like how the Master would just keep coming back because the series would run out of ideas.
So here's a dumb question. Was it easier to control the boat?
Oh. So, yeah, okay, we'll just work this out somehow. So, yeah. What were you going to say?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to mention, and also, by the way, if that sounded weird to anyone, the world just ended, and we had to restart the universe. But anyway.
Yeah, we actually had to go into the Netherworld and kill Demi-Fiend and restart the next cycle of humanity.
Yeah, it was a bit awkward, really.
I'd say a lot
one thing
of
I was going to ask...
games. Yeah?
One thing I was going to ask was, so when the Warthog is a boat in this one, right? So was it easier to control when you were in the river?
No, but it's... You know the weird thing? There's never naval combat in Halo, but they give you a boat in the first game.
Huh.
It was
Also,
not any easier to control, because the I don't know how to describe what's weird about this control. I think it might be the mouse and keyboard I'm using. I'm just not sure. Imagine that you're constantly trying to get the camera to match the direction that your car is facing, because the car will always go in that direction.
So I'm just going to mention something, which is I wonder what the Marine that's riding in the back is thinking right now.
I mean, look at his posture. He is, like, getting thrown about. Like, he is going to... When he is 60 years old, which he won't be, because I don't think anyone survives the Halo incident other than John Halo, he is going to have, like, some serious leg issues.
I also noticed, like, there was at least one thing where you're trying to get through those rocks where he was clipping into the rocks, so that probably is going to leave a mark.
I think, actually, I think we talked over it, but I'm pretty sure my passenger died in a previous thing. Like, when we were on the previous part, I'm pretty sure the passenger died because of that.
I shouldn't be laughing about that.
Why? The video
we have to
games.
stay with the Marines. We have to stay with the Marines. Oh, so okay. So just to reveal how the bacon is made. I actually have my copy muted because we are recording this in two separate locations with the magic of the internet. So for a second there, I thought that was, instead of Cortana, I thought that was your Marine passenger.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, the Marine passenger is never subtitled. He's actually been talking this whole time, saying things like, "You stole my kill," and "Oh yeah, to get some," like just or "Hoorah, Marines," like this entire time.
He's aware that if he stops saying that, the Marine Corps will execute him for being insufficiently patriotic.
You know, just one thing I want to bring up before I forget. We were joking earlier about how Halo exists in the Halo universe. In Halo Reach, there's a secret room you can get to, where it is Dr. Halsey, the inventor of the Spartan program's private chamber, and in it, the popular web series known as Red vs. Blue is confirmed to be canon within the Halo series.
Oh no! Is that why she designed the armor to look that way?
No. You know that it does open a lot of questions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe what probably is the case is the Spartan program was heavily advertised, so people probably know what the armor looks like. Because there's a lot of propaganda about Spartans. You know, Spartans never die; they only go missing in action. Because canonically, they will never list a Spartan as KIA to avoid dropping morale. Oh, this is me forgetting that I actually have to be there. I thought a ship was going to land in the middle of the river to pick me up, and I'm wrong. So I have to go back.
Yeah, drive the boat. Do it.
This is a warthog, by the way. You can tell because I have these two tusks in front. Though it does look a little bit more like a puma. Or maybe that Mexican thing that eats all the goats.
The chupacabras?
Yeah, that chupa thingy. You know, the best part is you don't get what I'm doing with this because you never watched Red vs. Blue. But I totally got you.
This is true.
I got a legitimate reaction out of you. That entertains me and not the audience.
Oh no, I think the audience might be entertained. Maybe, if they've made it this far.
If there was an audience for these videos. So that ends episode 2.
Oh no.
Halo.
No, the videos I do with you, people watch those. Not so much the videos I do by myself.
Well, you know, people are just here to hear me go on random tangents about absolute bullshit. Or maybe the fact that I post about it on my Twitter.com and Something Awful forum might also have something to do with it. I might also do it on this other forum called the LP Zone, which is where all the people went when they realized Something Awful sucks dick. And I can say that even though Something Awful people are here, because they'll just, if they post in the comments, they'll go, "Nah, you're right." Anyway, this is a long outro, so see y'all next week.
Yeah.
Same Halo time, same Halo channel.